Hello, loves. Welcome to the Law Drop, I guess. I'm Bailey Roca, and I'm the voice behind Ducky. Um, Ducky, aka I, did a post this morning telling you that I was going to tell you a bit more about the graveyard and the people that are in it, aka my OCs and the universe that I created. But I thought I would give you a bit of info either every day or every other day. I said every day, but I don't think I'm going to be that consistent. So I'm going to try to give you info at least once a week, okay? But basically, just be like little lore drops that I post on Ducky's account, telling you a bit more about Ducky and the other OCs and the graveyard and my universe and all of the other things associated to it. But I think it's gonna be really excited for me. I'm really excited for it, at least. I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna like it, but I'm excited to tell you more about it because it's a concept that I've had for a really long time, and I'm really excited to talk about it finally. For fuck's sakes. Anyways, um, the info for today is that my OCs are Estege, or Esteges. I'm not sure if I want to make a plural with an S for that one, but an Estege is basically a ghost or a spectre. But let me explain it in my quote unquote layman's terms. In my universe, a body holds spirit and memory. When a body or a vessel dies, what detaches are two things: the spirit and the memory, and then the body just kind of decomposes and turns into the natural organism that it is. I feel like I said that weird, but I'm not going to go back on that. Anyways, typically what happens is a spirit is released and guided to the spiritual levels of existence, where souls are given new purpose and or reincarnated. So like sometimes a spirit will be separated into two spirits, basically like half of a soul, and done to do two different things. Especially because the idea, at least in my head, is that a spirit starts off small in creation by a deity, and then it gets put into a soul and it lives a full life. And once it dies, that spirit has gotten bigger because of the life that it's lived, and it held a lot more memories than when it was first made, so the spirit got bigger over time. And so when it goes back up into the levels of existence, it can be separated, or a new creature can be made using the bigger spirit. It's almost like an evolution sort of thing. Because I was thinking of trying to make like magic evolutionary, and I had to like understand how evolution would work in a spiritual sense. I'm not sure if that fully makes sense though. I'm still trying to work out the kinks, but I thought that was a cool way of thinking about it. So that's what spirit is. And then the other part of a being is the memory. Memories are supposed to stay on the planet that the body was inhabiting, or the level of existence that the body was inhabiting, and become a part of the fourth plane, the fourth dimensional plane of existence. So you know how we have like 2D, 3D, and 4D? It kind of be like that, but there's basically like a thin veil, like behind the veil of what our eyes can see, and that's what memory is. It's formless, shapeless, but it stays there, and most of the time, in my universe, it's not called magic, it's called Isitena. But what happens is there's like that fourth dimension is like a grid, a magical grid, a power source, basically. And when something dies, a living being or creature or plant or whatever, they die, they end up feeding the power source on that specific plane of existence. So that's what memory does. It's kind of an interesting concept because if a deity taps into that like power source, they can take memory out of it and use it to create different beings, which we can talk about later at some point if you'd like to learn more about those. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, so what separates from a body is a spirit and memory. However, there are some cases, which is just my OC's cases, haha, that the spirit and memory don't separate after leaving the body, and you end up with spirit that does have memory. It sticks and it doesn't separate, it doesn't go into the power grid, because it wasn't meant to. So basically, the phenomenon happens when what was fated for the being that was alive never came to pass, and they died sooner than what was intended for them. So, like, almost like I feel like there's like a phrase for it where a ghost ends up staying longer than they should because they have unfinished business. It's basically like unfinished business, but I kind of in a more chaotic, chaotic sort of sense. But this is kind of like a segue for what my OCs kind of came about. I wasn't originally planning on making OCs, actually. My OCs are just characters from books that I was writing that I kind of disregarded. So think side characters or MCs that I ended up having to like rewrite because I didn't like how they were in the plot that I had imagined. Because I think one of my OCs, they were originally supposed to be the main character of a story that I was writing, and what happened is I was writing the story and I realized, oh, I want there to be some character development here, and the character that I wrote doesn't doesn't have that, and they probably won't have that within the plot line, so I need to rewrite the character. But I didn't want to like rewrite that specific character. I just wanted to create a new one, start from scratch when it came to that character. So I was like, well, I don't want to get rid of the character because I really like the character. It just doesn't work for this story. So it became an OC, and that's kind of how all of my other OCs are. Generally, they all were originally characters in a story that didn't really have a full development, and then they turned into something a lot more. I actually, all of my OCs are like the books that I had started writing that was like in middle school and high school or whatever. And I realize now that I have developed my OC's stories more than the books that they were supposed to be in. So that's, love that for me. But I thought that was kind of funny. That my OCs have more lore than the original stories that they were meant for, which is so nice. But yeah, I didn't want to bin the characters I created, so I created the graveyard dimension in my universe, and it's a place that even the deities don't know exist. It's where my OCs kind of go to die, or well, maybe not go to die, but they where they live their afterlives, fun. Oh, I think that was kind of punny, maybe. This probably would have been better if I edited it, but I'm lazy and I don't like listening to my voice for that long. So I hope you enjoyed the lore drop, and I hope to see you next time I do one. This was a very long video. I apologize for that, but I hope that you liked it. And if you have any questions, let me know. Ducky and I would love to answer. And yeah, that's kind of everything. So again, this was Bailey Roker of Just a Voice, and I hope that you really liked this. Have a great day or night. Have a great time zone, and I will see you next time. Bye.